Let's just go in, all in. He's the real culprit. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we're accusing him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try to grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. What with his birds and everything and looking all Disney princess. He's calm enough for it to be almost scary. Ow! Oh, no! I'm getting pecked by the bird. He is staying rather calm and collected. Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? Herb! What do you mean? Everyone take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. Can he, though? That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. You know, this guy is going to turn out to be like the... oh god, yeah. Remember when we played Black Sad? And the lion in the wheelchair apparently could stand up. He apparently could. Or if he took some of those pills, he could. He could stand up for quite a while and get around well enough to be able to walk about and do stuff. Funny, that was a lion. And this guy here, his brother was bitten by a lion and he's in a wheelchair, but I bet you won't. I bet he's actually able to do stuff. Like, maybe minimally, but enough. Because he just said he goes to the hospital not for physio, but to see his brother. You don't think that's the case here? You never know, we'll see. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client, but to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things. See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear that the accusation is ludicrous. The lion in the wheelchair was able to walk, and there's a lion in the game that means Acro might be lion. Lion the lion? You see, Mo's suggestion for the lion's name comes full circle. It did make sense. It was good. It's a clue. Illuminati confirmed. Let's see some Illuminati emotes in the chat. She's right. Way to pick on a disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Phoenix is a poopy head. Blah, blah, blah. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Okay, fine. My theory's destroyed. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to the counter as well. I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice. What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? He has the monkey. He has the monkey, doesn't he? It's impossible for Acro to be the murderer in this case. If that's the case, then it's natural for one to consider the possibility of an accomplice. The birds, they did it, yes. You don't say. Not good, not good. This isn't going to end well. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. What? You must not have heard that sound just now. Maybe it wasn't clear enough. The sound of you falling into your own trap can be hard to notice sometimes. Mr. Wright, it seems as if you won't be stopping at Acro, but will be making other accusations. If Acro did not have an accomplice, things are not looking good for you. I understand, Your Honor. Whoop. Very well, let's continue. Who, perchance, would happen to be Acro's accomplice? Buddy the monkey. You're getting murdered? I hope not. You don't say. This is suddenly looking very bad. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. Oh, did you hear that? Hear what? Getting caught in your own trap. Oh, what a splendid accomplice. I'm sure this accusation is built on a solid foundation. Foundation? Yes, Mr. Wright. Do you have any proof this person you've accused was indeed an accomplice? Oh, bloody hell, do we? Yeah, this is a slippery slope. Show the badge. Oh my god, yeah, because he likes to steal things and bring them to him. He's you know, but I don't think that's going to necessarily help us here. I'm lawyering, exactly. What if his brother was the accomplice? I'm still back to that theory. He's actually not in a coma anymore. He maybe woke up. Well, a person isn't going to be proof. Evidence is proof. The note, maybe. This shows a certain amount of intent on his part. No, the judge isn't impressed. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. This piece of evidence is lacking the persuasive power. You didn't miss that sound, did you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You know, the sound of you receiving a penalty. Damn you. What are you doing, Nick? What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? God damn. There's a lot of layers to this. Did he have an accomplice? I mean, we know the monkey does stuff for him. Like, brings stuff. But if my theory is he got the statue and dropped it on the guy's head and then hoisted it back up with a rope, he wouldn't need an accomplice for that. Could do all that on his own. This must be when we get to hear the names of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. I guess, yeah, you can't control the monkey. At least we can't. We don't know if he can, but... Order! Order! What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? You know what I can't do? I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Wright, if this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right? Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, where exactly was Mr. Dingling? Well, I mean, it would have been in his room. Right? Had to be. Wouldn't have been down here with him. physically committing the crime because there's no footprints. Wouldn't be in Moe's room. I doubt very much he was at the big top, or any of these. He was in his room still from above. He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can only be one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. Von Karma's like, what? What are you, nuts? What say you, Mr. Dingling? Oh, here he goes again, talking to his birds. It's an interesting theory. That's it. Considering that what you proposed is impossible, yes, that's it. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in the wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene to be the killer. You've got a point. Seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Yes, but there's no footprints. Moe said that he saw Max, didn't he? Yeah, getting hoisted away in a very shoddy way. But Maya, it's still too impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... She's right, I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought while I save the game. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster, and he did it while he was in his room, no doubt about it. Time to enlighten us how Mr. Dingling committed the crime. I'm going to present some evidence. What did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of murder against Mr. Russell Berry? The bust. What's that? A picture? Yes, he killed him with a photograph. It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust? It's quite a large bust, and because of its life size, it's also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death, especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Ah! All the birds have fled. They're like, oh, you're on your own now, buddy. He got you. See, this is how Acro was able to kill the ringmaster. Boom! Yeah, that's it. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. Ooh. Order! Order! So you're saying the bust fell onto the ringmaster? A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Put it on your lap? Acro is an acrobat. You should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like that bust. Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges? The birds are gone again, like, whoa, shit. Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro. You can— Ow! Jesus! I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to the case. I demand we get a proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony, you say? On karma. She's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time. There is absolutely no need for such testimony. The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond. The defense's objection is overruled. Why can't he see things my way just once in a while? Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony. Anime move, yes. The witness will have no problems, however. Let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. That woman will sink to any low to win a case. Just like her father. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working out as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? But there was that tire swing. Right next to the window. He could have been using that to, like, swing himself halfway out, hold on to the, like, the frame, and then drop it. I have no doubts in regard to the witness's testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself far enough out to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injury. That's what I was thinking. What's your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I'd still like to proceed with a cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. I can't let her get to me. I've got to focus. So you could have lifted something the size of the bust. Let's question. Have you ever lifted up the bust before? No, I've never actually lifted it up with my own two hands. But I should get to it, don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this. Whoa, wait, what? So he's admitting the monkey can lift it. Money? The crazy monkey has lifted Max's bust before. Money brought it to him. Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingling. Strong upper body, works as an acrobat and only legs were injured. What have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I have given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope. You don't say. But no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. Neither am I, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I wouldn't lose either, slowpoke, I mean Nick. Oh, alright, Maya, calm down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden, and my athletic abilities? I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. And why is that? Because if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out of the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet. So you couldn't have thrown that bust out of the window. He's admitting the possibility that he can get out of the chair, though. He didn't say I couldn't even get out of the chair, he just said I would fall out of the window, meaning he could, but his legs are unstable and unsteady and wobbly. So, yeah. Enough to be able to get up on the swing, I think. No way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. How long do you think your recovery will take? You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation, but it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bust, he would not be able to see out below the window. Makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust I couldn't see out below the window, thus there is no way that I would know the location of the ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you've got a point. Hey Nick, huh? What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it sort of like this. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, he could drop the bust. Does make sense. If only I could prove it somehow. Did he put the box there? Because we do know that Ben and Trillo didn't see him carrying a box. If we think the person they saw was the ringmaster, they didn't see him carrying the box, did they? So he planted the box, knowing where the ringmaster would then be, he could gauge his throw. That's a possibility. Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down. I think I've already explained things sufficiently. It would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on his head. Let's just question everything first. If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all. If all I had to do was drop it, you're right. I could have done that. However, there's no way it could land a direct hit on the ringmaster's head. But that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright? He's strong enough to lift up the bust. The main problem is how he could have aimed for the ringmaster's head. If he used the kind of tool to aim for the ringmaster, that's the ticket, Nick. Show them what you've got. Gotta be careful, I have to find something that fits perfectly with the case. I don't remember us finding any sort of tool, but maybe we overlooked something. Let's just have a look at the evidence, see what we've got then. I think it's the box. He planted it so he knew where the ringmaster would be. We don't have anything else, it's not like he set any mirrors up. I think it's the box. Like he put the box there and he put the pepper inside it for some strange reason. I mean, if he never intended him to open the box, he wouldn't have needed to actually put the pepper in there to begin with, you know. I think it was this one we need to object to. Let's just double check the text. Why do you say it would be impossible? Explain. We wouldn't know where the ringmaster's head was. Suppose we've got a point. And then Maya butts in. Yeah, so this is the one we need to object to. Actually, before I do, because I'm a dirty save scummer, that's why. I have no shame. Nothing to be ashamed of. Acro, you don't really need to lean out of the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead the time where the ringmaster's head was going to be, quite precisely, I may add. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Wright. Oh, it's silly now, it's not foolish. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes, hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. Oh, right, the photograph as well also shows him. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over? The very same. The question is, who placed the box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. They'd mention that, which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bus came falling down was exactly the same moment the ringmaster lifted up the wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean, if the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way it could miss the head of the victim. No! Oh yes. Order! Order! This is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Yes, all the anime moves. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here, forward. So the next question I have is, who placed the wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Jesus, allow me to whip some sense into you. No! Ah! Ow! Oh! Ow! The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The weight. Makes it really hard to pick up. So he would have just opened it in place, right? The box had a remarkable weight. Weight? According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. So just to lift up this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see. One would have to squat down to lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has carrying handles either side, doesn't it? That's correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means, no matter who you are, your head would be in the approximate same place. Fool! I pity you, fool. Well, both of them were a factor error, Kai. It was either the size or the weight. He mentioned both. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. I must admit I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place the wooden box at the plaza? Mr. Wright, may I have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? I do remember, yes. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table at the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room, however, how would I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? It's as I, Acro-Kai. That's a good name. You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Well, now I'm changing my mind. There was one. This is where I was going with first. My question is, why did they put the disabled guy on the 3rd floor? That's been bugging me as well, to be honest. It's like, why is he there? Could they have swapped rooms with Mo? I don't know. Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here, but this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all. Oh, let's hear the explanation. I see a flashing health bar there. How did the witness get the bust from the cafeteria back to their room? Well, it had to be the monkey. Couldn't have been anybody else. I mean, they could have used the wooden box to bring it back unnoticed. It's big enough to put the bust in, maybe. I don't know. But we're going to go with the monkey. We did say no accomplice. A monkey? And he did say that the monkey was able to pick it up. He slipped his tongue and said, I can't let money beat me. Maybe I'll be able to lift it one day myself. He couldn't let the monkey get one over on him. Which means he knows the monkey can lift it. A monkey? Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course, he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. And then he decided to take advantage of this. Home? Because the statue had been gone for a while, if I remember correctly. Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. No, but the plate on the front is. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. Ooh! Oh, the cards. Yes, because he wouldn't have been holding the cards, people would have seen them, wouldn't they? those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they're made from platinum, which is very shiny. Ah! Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bus back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that by himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Practically confirmed it. Order, order, I said order, Miss Von Karma. Where is the bust in question in this very moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. No, you're not. You didn't know it was relevant till now. This is a rather strange turn of events, but let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon. Wait. Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? I am accusing you of murder. It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron! I like how she flinches in fear that I'm right, but still calls me a moron. Mr. Wright's argument was so circular that I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Ow! Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? Would you like to see my badge? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Heckin' bamboozled, exactly. What is that? You should know. Ow! You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the crime scene. No, the thing was, there's no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn the trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry. The other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? It was the bust. Bean boozled. We are not doing that. No. No way. We're never doing that. Yeah. He saw the bust. Ow! Jesus Christ. I asked who was the other person Mo saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. It does. Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. He did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. How is this possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach the cloak to the bust. It wouldn't be easy to hang one off the cards in the bust's... Oh, it would be easy to hang one off the cards in the bust's hands. No, there will be no Bean Boozled challenge. You can even ask for it in a coin flip and you could win and it still wouldn't happen. I respect people that are doing it, good for them, but oh my goodness, no thank you. Idiot, who in their right minds would put a cloak on a bust? It doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? The question is of the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree? Oh, he caught me. Let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? Well, I would say it was the victim himself. He was wearing it. It maybe just got snagged by coincidence. I don't think there was any attempt to actually frame Max in this. I think he just wanted to kill him and then he hoisted the statue back up so there would be no murder weapon at the crime scene. That's what I think he did, and somehow it snagged the cape. Fool! Him? Are you saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. I mean, the victim himself placed the cloak on the bust. Placed the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself, fool. Nick, do you really have a handle on all of this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint always. Alright, so, you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time, fool. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. That's a good point, actually, because he thought he was going to some blackmail thing. Erica, you won the Battle Royale, dude! Nice, not rigged, see? All your complainers. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than the ventriloquist and his puppet Ben and Trillo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Thing is, they didn't find the roses. Sorry, nobody saw the roses on the cloak. If it was that cloak, those roses would have been there, and they weren't on the victim, so where the heck were they? The anime version had complete illustrations of this story made by Gumshoe. Oh, really? Cool. Now, this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bust hit the victim, clonk. Oh god, that... Oh right, it was facing that way around. Of course it would. Yes. So it wasn't really that, it's just a weird silhouette. You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true, it can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Ms. Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What? Flump. The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged the bust. The impact also caused the sound that that certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls the Clown. When Moe looked out of his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Moe saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it, primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out of his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. Whoa! And away he goes. Yeah, not far-fetched at all. Now, we're not reaching very, very far here, are we? This is all very sensible. And that's how the magical murderer disappeared into the night sky came to be. Dum dum dum. Oh, is he going to lose his cool now? I want to see what his losing his cool thing is. I bet the birds just go apeshit. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro. It could only have been you. Oh no. He's just like, I'm chilled, dude. It's alright. I've made my peace with this. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has. But he's come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. Do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence. Do we? In this court, only two things matter: the power of evidence and the power of my whip. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Your gavel is useless against that whip, it turns out. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? So take a chill pill, bro. Nick, they say they want evidence. I heard them, Maya, thank you. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. There's still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay then, use that and get us out of this jam. That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. So it's got to be something to do with Mo's account. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick for this magic case. Evidence that he was able to do it. Where the heck are we gonna get that? It's the map. I mean, again, the evidence that it happened this way is the lack of footprints. Right? Gotta be. The hat? No, I don't think the hat. Although, again, yes. Mo did say that he saw the hat. And the hat is on the bust. It couldn't fall off because it's a bronze bust. Let's try it. The problem is Max's three symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yes, yesterday there were two contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all these contradictions. You fool! Do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing the hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually at the busts, which we already have done anyway with this guy's testimony. You would think we wouldn't have to tread over this old ground, but okay. This is how we got here to begin with this one point. Makes sense if you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat, well, sort of. Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. The clown's testimony doesn't match. We've already gone over this. We know that he was wearing the robe. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. You can do it, Nick. Of course, I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant when the cloak snags the bust. The cloak snagged onto the busts. What happened to the white roses? They're pointing inward towards the bust. The cloak isn't wrapped around the bust with the white roses on the outside, is it? Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Ah! Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the backside of the bust. Backside. Order! Order! Yeah, because Mo did say he saw the silhouette of the face, so the bust may have spun around by that point. This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a little absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Karma will finally throw in the towel. No, she won't. Neither will he. He's just playing with his birds. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. The witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Yeah. See, this is the thing. I haven't really touched this yet, but I know what it is. He wasn't trying to kill the ringmaster. He was trying to kill Regina. He doesn't like her. He's the only person he doesn't like in that circus is Regina. Right? Why would he kill the ringmaster? I mean, hell, even after the biting incident with Leon, the ringmaster put Leon down. And he's even allowed them to stay still and helped them with their recovery. So he was trying to kill Regina. After all, he put the note in her pocket. It's a contrivance to think that she would have just pinned it on the notice board for her dad to see and everything would have gone according to plan. She was supposed to be there that night. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive, It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I was thinking the same thing, Judge. We're about half an hour over the usual break time, and if I'm going to finish a little early today, this is probably a good place to put it. We'll get our break in here in a moment at the save point. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess. To be continued. You're going to head off now, Ed Kenga? No problem. Thank you for coming out, dude. Really appreciate it. Hope you stay well. And do pop in and see us again. Keep us updated on things. Have a good one. Alright guys, we're also going to be taking a quick 5-minute break here, so get up. I've been stretching while I was up. Laying a little bit stiff lately in bed again. I'm getting ready for my next chiropractor appointment, which might not happen now given everything going on in the world. Anyway, let us move on. Where am I? Just get this sorted over here. Click in the game. Right, good. Who won the Battle Royale, by the way? Luigi! Nice one! You won the Battle Royale. See, look, I haven't won one today. Y'all people saying it's rigged all the time. I can't believe it. Acro! It's pretty shocking, isn't it? It definitely isn't. To think he was always the most straightforward of the group. Jeebus, am I that hated? Acro tried to pin the murder on you on purpose. He did? No, he didn't. Psst, psst. It's only rigged if my wife wins, exactly. We've already established this. Yes, there it is. That's the official hashtag. But I'm nothing but a little old nobody, you know. But you're not, which is kind of the reason why... Hey, pal! You're gonna ignore me after I went to all the trouble to bring you some evidence? Ah, Detective Gumshoe. Ah, forget it. I'm going home. This guy deserves to be guilty anyways. Whoa, damn, bro. She has unleashed the mass bomb. Take cover! Oh god. Yikes. Ah. Okay, we're good. Is he gonna bring the scarf? I hope so. We don't know what this is about still. Now, detective, I'm sorry. Look, why don't you relax a little? Take a deep breath. Hacks. Yes. We've got some really tasty milk. Oh god, yeah, everybody brought the guy milk for some reason. I don't get that. That's gonna turn out important, I bet. How about a card trick, detective? Oh, well, if you insist. Now, about the evidence you mentioned. What is it? Hey, there we go. Here you go. Huh? This was yesterday in Acro's room. Yep, and I've included the forensics results. Take a look at it later. Why are we being given this and not the prosecutor? Won't Ms. Von Karma be mad that you're doing this? That's why this is all a secret. Huh? Yeah, because she wouldn't guess at all that you gave it to us. Look, details are on a need-to-know basis, and we're not really allies or anything. But we're friends. I'd share a burger. Well, not I wouldn't share a burger with you. I'd have a burger with you having your own burger, sitting in the same place eating burgers together. I'd go out for a burger with you. You're a cool guy. Is what I'm saying. Not making it weird, but I kind of am. Let's move on. But everything that's happened in court up until now has gone according to our plan. They're setting her up for failure? I don't know, Ms. Von Karma didn't seem in control of things in there just now. You're eating burgers? Nice. One of the things I managed to buy while I was doing my shopping this week was to buy some packs of turkey burgers. Because they had beef burgers, but I saw the turkey burgers and thought, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna get those instead. So they might be interesting. You'll figure it out eventually, pal. Yesterday, our final plans were set into motion. Final plans? Uh-huh. That reminds me. I've got a message from the prosecutor for you. Nothing is ever truly decided until the very end. That's it. And that's it from me too, pal. I'm out of here. What do you mean by that? The very end part? He means when she tries to kill us in the elevator shaft. Like Edgeworth's father! Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. That was all pretty cryptic to me. Oh, one more thing. Ah, Jesus, don't scare me like that, pal. Looks like there's a large care package from the circus for the defendant. What, for me? It's milk. What the fuck is this milk today? I mean, it's good for you. Good, you know, get your calcium levels up. But still. The reception area looks like some kind of dairy. So, hurry up and drink it all before it spoils. Whoa, that's a lot of milk to drink. You're going to be a little bit bloated. An entire dairy's worth of milk for me? Yeah, but Max, what is this milk thing? You, like, have some kind of fetish? You do? Don't tell me. It's a rhetorical question. It ain't milk. Oh. I don't want to know then. I don't want to know. The end justifies the means? Always. Always. Hey, we didn't look at the scarf. Stained with blood and a small quantity of pepper. He would have been wearing the scarf, because it's obviously covered in blood. Stained with bat's blood. So he was wearing that when he put his head in the lion's mouth. And it had pepper on it. I called it, you guys! Now we've just got to point to it all in court. Court is now back in session. Ms. Von Karma, please continue from where you left off. I'd like to continue with Acro's testimony, starting with his relationship to the victim. I did the big brain again! That's 2 cases in a row, you guys! 2! What is going on here? I'd also like to get proof from the defense. Proof of what kind of motive Acro would have to commit the crime. Understood. Now, Mr. Dingling. Yes, Your Honor. Please proceed with your testimony. Finally, we get to the motive. Wait, Nick, are you okay? Just do me a favor and don't ask questions you don't want the answers to. Nope. It's okay, he'll catch up to us. We're smarter than him, guys. All of us, we are smarter. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. That's when the ringmaster of the very big circus, Russell Berry, took us in. I became an acrobat at around 9 years old. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was my sole purpose in life. You're such a thoughtful young man. As you heard, the witness deeply respected the victim. I wonder how anyone could think that Acro would kill the man he held in such high esteem. You just realized something, what is it? Milk. See, I know there's a hint here from something. The fact that all the milk has been coming in, there's got to be some kind of, I don't know, link here that the other characters are hinting. Mr. Dingling, so gross and damn nasty. Oh no. Is that a milk brand or something? Anyway, you are absolutely right. How could anyone think that, Mr. Wright? Which is why there's no real need for a cross-examination, is there? Guess again, Udgy. Actually, that's the question I'm trying to answer myself. Why would Acro kill the ringmaster? This might be my last chance to answer that question. Yes, I will cross-examine him. Get that thing away from me. It looks good for you, boy. The defense has a right to cross-examine the witness. You're so tactless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Could you just call me Mr. Wright or Nick? You don't care about justice, do you? I care about justice for all. You want to fabricate a motive. Better than you fabricating evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright. Cross-examine the witness. I didn't fabricate a motive when I got your father tried for murder. Ha! Oh. When we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. We? Yes, my brother Sean and I. What? You have a brother? How old were you when this happened, Acro? I was 8 years old and my brother was 4. Your parents were very cruel, weren't they? Nowadays, we aren't bitter about what happened to us because it allowed us to meet the wonderful people at the very big circus. Glad Matt didn't get my theory. No, I don't. There must be a reference in there that I don't understand. Nick, the judge is getting misty-eyed. He's got a soft spot for sub-stories, it looks like. Ow! No crying in court, let's keep going. Hey, Von Karma, look, if a man wants to have a good cry, let him. It's perfectly fine, it's healthy. The witness may proceed with his testimony. That's when the ringmaster at the very big circus took us in. How would you describe your relationship with the ringmaster? He was like an uncle, a father, and a big brother all rolled into one. The ringmaster and my brother were the only family I had. What about other people at the circus? This was over 15 years ago. Back then, there were very few customers coming in, so no one really had the time to look after us. They were worried about other things, but the ringmaster, he would always come see us with a laugh and a smile. What a beautiful story. Did she just go there? Wow. Okay. That's why I was always thinking what I could do to help him. I wanted to thank him. Nick, isn't Acro such a wonderful person? Don't you start, Maya. I know, he seems like a nice guy, which is what makes this so difficult. Then how long have you been a performer? I became an acrobat at around the age of 9 years old. I wanted to... Oh, right, let's question that. Oh gee, he's all misty-eyed, I know. You started off as an acrobat at that early an age? Aren't there child labour laws that would have stopped this? But okay. I begged the ringmaster until he finally agreed to let me do it. Ever since then, I've been in incredible physical shape. That's also when I decided to form a group with my brother. We called ourselves the Flying Dingleberries. No, Dinglingberries. Do you guys get that one? I don't want to have to explain it. I misread that in a way that, yeah, I get what it's saying, aiming at Dinglingberries instead of Dingleberries. Just curious how many people in the world understand what one of those is. Let's move on. We were nearly a household name. They're like the Flying Graysons. Oh my god, he was trying to become Batman. I've even heard of them in Germany. Liar. The point is that I wanted to be of some use to the circus. You are truly a remarkable young man. The judge keeps looking at Acro like a proud father, or grandfather in his case. I wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was his sole purpose. Did you ever have any trouble with the ringmaster? Ow! How could you ask such a thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have some sort of fundamental misunderstanding of the witness's testimony? Or the heartfelt emotions contained within? You better think about this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You better think hard. Oh, ow! Fuck! This is going to be a rough game. No matter how you look at it, there's no way I could see the witness ever taking the victim's life. For God's sake, woman. Crane bow. Exactly. I've been waiting for you to say that, Your Honor. Nick, I hate to say it, but I agree with them. Shut up, Maya. I was trying to chase down the truth, but I ended up just looking like a jerk. I think that will be enough for now. Wait, what? Pondering whether or not this man would kill the ringmaster leads us to believe that it is pretty unlikely. Exactly right, Your Honor. This is about the time Mia makes an entrance and says, Phoenix, what are you doing? You're looking at this all wrong. Mr. Wright, I'd like to ask you a question. Go ahead, Your Honor. I would like to know, can you provide an explanation as to why Acro would want the ringmaster dead? I mean, we can, because Phoenix still is going with the idea that he was targeting the ringmaster. Now that I've come this far, there's no way I could answer no, I can't. Oh, this is gonna be good. Very well, please enlighten the court. Let's see some evidence that proves Acro's motive for killing the ringmaster. That's finally gonna be this note. Let me just go over this one more time. This is why Acro killed the ringmaster. That is correct. I don't think the defense would mind confirming something for me. What exactly are we supposed to learn from this piece of evidence? What are you supposed to learn? Looks like you just won the award for biggest failure in court. Ouch. Biggest failure in court? That stings. In recognition of your honor, let me bestow upon you my special prize. Penalty point. Now, what will you do, Mr. Wright? Would you prefer to hurry up and prove something? Let me save this. I was trying to save it before we got here, because I knew it was going to be one of those damn obscure ones. Now I'm going to have to really think about this. See, personally, I think what we would have done is we would have shown that and said, well, we know that he put this in someone else's pocket. Do we show the scarf? Do we show the brother? We can't actually present the brother. Oh, I need to be in the thing. Let's just try presenting something else. I won't leave any doubt in your mind this time. May the defense remember that this court is not target practice for its theories. Very well, please enlighten the court. Let's see some evidence that Acro's motives for killing the ringmaster. I'm going to try presenting the brother. Nope. I'm not going through the failure message again. I'm going to try not presenting, rather than just guessing wildly. Nick? Yeah, I didn't even have to think about it. It was obvious from the start. Your Honor? The reason that Acro killed the ringmaster is something that can't be proven. What? That's because Acro had no reason to kill the ringmaster at all. He doesn't. See, finally, I don't know when Phoenix is going to catch up to our logic. This is the point now, thankfully. Your foolish attempts to fool us like foolish fools is so foolhardily foolish, you fool. Did you forget you made accusations against this witness, did you not? I believe it was. This is the real killer of Russell Berry Ringmaster. If you want to jump to the end of things, then yes, that sounds about right. The end of things? Yeah. You fooly fool. Acro, you didn't plan to kill the Ringmaster at all, did you? The Ringmaster wasn't your target that night. What did you just say? I'm saying that the target of the witness's murderous plot was not the Ringmaster. Because it was never his intention to kill Russell Berry to begin with. Ugh, what? Order! Order! Bailiff, I don't care who it is, smack anyone who's loud in the face twice if you must. What? Okay, what kind of brutish police state do these people live in? They have trials that only last 3 days, no longer. And anyone who's loud in court gets a smack in the face from the bailiff. Wow. I think Von Karma would make for a great tsundere. Probably, yeah. She's already got the whipping practice down and all that stuff, so yeah. My goodness. Mr. Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to my court? Ooh, Jesus. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to his court? Nice. Are you attempting to imply that Acro was trying to kill someone else? Finally, he was trying to kill Regina. Regina Berry? This young girl is the Ringmaster's daughter, correct? Acro, you were really aiming for her that night, weren't you? Because he seemed really shocked when we said that she put it on the board. He was like, wait, what? You don't need to answer that. It's a mean-spirited leading question. He could easily answer this question. If I'm wrong, all he has to do is say, you're wrong. That's it. That's it, huh, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Enough, Mr. Wright. Allow me to... God, I felt that coming a mile away. The only thing allowed to interrupt me is death itself. That can be arranged. Huh? And that goes for you too, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Show me some evidence now. Finally, we can show the note. I want to know why Acro will want to kill Regina Berry. Yes, me too. I demand to see some proof. Alright, again, this is going to be another one of those it's not what you think yet moments. Present evidence that proves Acro was out to kill this young girl. Okay, so the note placed in her pocket that morning of the crime, luring her to the crime scene. Please, let it be this. Ah, thank God. When the judge was sat there with his eyes closed looking up, I thought, no. Acro, you remember this, don't you? Birds have fled again like, no, shit. It's a piece of paper that we found inside the Ringmaster's tailcoat. Inside the victim's tailcoat. Acro wrote this note. It's ironically entitled, To the Murderer. Its purpose was to call someone to the plaza at 10 PM. You're saying that he called Russell Berry with that note? Alchemist! Birds are like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Yeah, they've been doing that every time we get something good on this guy. They're like, whoa, shit. I'm just leaving. How are you today, Alchemist? How's life? How's things? All good, I hope? Yes, but there's just one little problem. Problem? Acro didn't indeed place this note... Oh, Acro did indeed place this note into someone's pocket. However, that someone was not the Ringmaster. You mean it wasn't for the... That's exactly what I mean. The person this note was intended for was none other than Regina Berry. Order! 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 Mr. Wright, this little theory of yours. It's the truth, Your Honor. It isn't a theory. Off for noms now. No problem, King Pulsar. See you in a bit. Enjoy your noms. Simply put, Regina didn't think the note was meant for her, which is why the morning of the crime she placed it on the cafeteria bulletin board. That's when her father, I mean the Ringmaster, saw the note? That's correct. The Ringmaster ended up in that plaza instead of Regina. And he was killed because of that mistake instead of Regina. That's incredible. Remember the testimony that Acro gave us earlier today? Lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. If I were to do that, I'd end up falling out of the window myself, so he couldn't get a clear look outside. He didn't know who was there or what they even looked like. He just heard somebody there, grabbing the chest and let go. You're still saying her name wrong, rubbish. Don't you start. Tomato, tomato. Okay? Acro had no idea who it was that arrived at the plaza because he couldn't look down out of the window to see who it actually was. I've got it. Acro thought that it was Regina down in the plaza. And that's when he let the bust fly. Oh, was it? It was the rest of the case. Oh, I forgot that. It was the rest of the stream I was thinking. Sorry about that. Hey, Nick. Alright, we'll start it from here. I always slipped anyway, yes, but I've been doing it, intentionally not doing it now. I'll start here, though. Now that you've reminded me of that, I do profusely apologise. Isn't Reggie listening to all this from the audience? She is, unfortunately. It's only going to get harsher from here, if she even understands what day of the week it is. I hope Reggie can handle it. Acro wrote this note to Reggie. I was waiting for the whip then. Foolishly foolish fool with foolishly foolish fool ideas. You're so foolish, you have made it sound like a foolhardy fool, you fool. I pity you, fool. Very well, Mr. Phoenix Wright, if you're so sure, then tell us about this line. I have conclusive evidence what took place. Yes, what about that line? Well, if the note was meant for Reggie Berry, it would mean that this note is declaring that Reggie Berry is a murderer. You just don't get it, do you? What? What did you just say? As punishment, you have to buy everyone in the chat a pack of toilet paper. I'm gonna go broke. Have you seen how much it costs right now on Amazon? The ringmaster knew what the note meant, which is why he went to the plaza, in place of his lovely daughter. Hold it right there, Mr. Wright. What is this incident that is being alluded to in the note? The incident 6 months ago. I know all about it. Allow me to tell you, I shall regale you with song and story. An incident that occurred 6 months ago, and now I'm more than ready to show this court what happened at that time. Moron. Wait, are you sure it relates to the present case? It does indeed, Your Honor. Everything in this case has to start with what happened 6 months ago. So his entire motivation hinges on this. Really, Nick? I think so. Well then, if that's the case, hurry up and tell us about it. What is this conclusive evidence mentioned in the note? I know, I'd certainly like to know what it is. If I can't answer that question, the judge is going to think I'm bluffing. The conclusive evidence about the incident 6 months ago. Now, it's either the pepper that was in the chest, which of course Reggie would have known about, because she knows about the pepper incident with Leon, the lion. Whether she understands that was the reason that Leon bit Bat's head. Yeah, I've just realised as well that lion should have been called Ozzy if he bit the head of the bat. Yeah? Yeah. This kid here called Bat, y'all get it? Anyway, whatever. Badum-tish. Now, I'm not going to give myself one for that. It was terrible. You need that, and you need pink yarn? Ooh. Funny that. I know a place where you can get yarn. Not necessarily pink, but... in fact, there is pink. Go have a look. Look at Petalicious. Anyway. Found inside the wooden box, the victim was hunched over, contained pepper. Is it going to be the pepper or is it going to be the scarf? Because he had the scarf he was going to give us. when we broke him down and he told us all about this. But yeah, because the scarf, I mean, a jar of pepper in the box is nothing on its own. The scarf that Reggie gave Bat had pepper on it, and he would have been wearing it at the time of the bite because it's covered in Bat's blood. I'm gonna go with this. Welcome back. What is it? Well, oh god damn. Damn you, Phoenix. I figured I'd try to get rid of evidence I didn't need anymore. You can do those sorts of things on your own time. Whoops. Okay. Well, the load point is going to be a way back now. I'm going to have to do this. We're down to 3 bars of health. Oh no. But the conclusive evidence would have been the seasoning bottle that he left in the wooden box. Achoo! 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 Ah! Achoo! What kind of spicy joke is this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Well, I didn't know the judge was going to try and snort the entire contents of the bottle. Jeez. It isn't a joke at all. It's the decisive evidence you asked for. What do you mean? Recall that the victim was trying to take the wooden box away with him. He was doing so because this piece of decisive evidence is what was inside. Another unbelievable conclusion. Very well, Mr. Wright. What exactly are you saying? Are you claiming that Reggie Berry killed someone with a small bottle of pepper? Taking the note into account, that's the only logical conclusion you can draw. A foolish fool who never tires of his own foolish ways. If you're so sure, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then answer this question. I will after I've saved again, because I have fuck all health left. Who was Regina Berry's intended victim? Well, not intended victim, but she did hurt this guy. Who is this? That's Acro's younger brother. What does this prove? His younger brother isn't dead. Technically that's true. However, Bat has been in a coma for 6 months now. It's not a stretch to see how Acro could feel about that his brother is dead. Reggie, she did that to him? Do you spend your entire life dreaming up new ways to be a fool? Naturally, the prosecution has looked into Acro's brother, Sean Dingling. 6 months ago, he was bit by a lion and fell into his current comatose state. How does she know that? I mean, I guess maybe Acro confessed it to her. But they never reported it to the police. A lion? Ms. Reggie Berry is an animal tamer by trade. However, no tamed animal in that position is ever trained to attack another human. They wouldn't understand the command. Moreover, Ms. Reggie could never have done something like that. It's just not in her. Oh my. Is she all besotted here? Like, oh, but she's not like that. So then what happened to Acro's brother? He's not the victim of an attempted murder, he's the victim of an accident. I see. Now what do we do? No one seems to be going along with the theory. Do you think what happened to Bat was actually an accident? It was more than that? That's not saying it wasn't. That's saying an accident and something else. I doubt very much that Reggie would have actually done this intentionally. Like I said, they're not trained to attack on command, so that wasn't the case. But it's not like she could have contrived this to happen. She wouldn't want her own lion putting down. She was very sad about it. But it was just an accident. I suppose it was truly an accident. It's essential that a man knows when to give up, Mr. Phoenix Wright. It's impossible to prove Miss Berry's involvement in a murder attempt, isn't it? Ha! Instigating a lion to attack whoever heard of something like that. And to think that the defense claimed this was conclusive evidence. Damn. A small bottle of pepper, a lion. What's their connection? Ah! Finally, he's figuring it out. The lion sneezed, and that's why he ended up biting. What's the matter, Nick? I figured it out. Wow, I was right in front of my nose the entire time. Your Honor, wait. What is it? The lion biting bat was no accident at all. What? You're such an amateur, Mr. Phoenix. There's no way that Reggie would ever incite her lion to attack another human being. She may not have incited the lion to attack another human being. But this is where we show the scarf, but I'm still saving like an MFer right now. Just when I see that bloody bar up there flashing. But Regina is responsible for making the lion bite Acro's brother Bat with the scarf. That's just a scarf. Acro? This scarf is something that Bat used to wear, correct? Birds are gone again like, oh shit. That's right. And who's the one that gave the scarf to Bat? Reggie. Reggie gave it to him. There's something more than blood on this scarf, Your Honor. And what might that be? Pepper. Pepper? Pepper. Pepper. Pepper, pepper, pepper. Reggie gave this scarf to Bat right before the accident, and she covered it with as much pepper as she could because she was pranking him. Von Karma's like, really? How would you even come up with this shit? Hey, what's with the silent treatment? Excuse me, Mr. Wright. You've done a good job of fingering the criminal. Please rephrase that. But out of curiosity, what was her crime? Miss Berry gave pepper-covered scarf to Bat as a present. Where's the crime in that? Still seems like the judge doesn't get it. Mr. Phoenix Wright, wasn't it said that the lion seemed to be smiling? Smiling? The lion was smiling. Right before it bit Bat, or right before Bat was bit by the lion, for a moment the lion's mouth changed and looked like he was smiling. Like the bird pecking the head. Oh yeah, that's good. I like that. It's a nice little touch. Lions smile. I've never heard of them smiling, however. Lions sneeze. Leon wasn't trying to bite Bat at all. What I said as soon as we heard about the pepper, I was like, oh shit. In reality, he was about to sneeze. He sneezed because of all the pepper on the scarf. What? You fool! You've got to be kidding me. What's the matter, Ms. Von Karma? I object for objection's sake. Please penalize her. Mr. Phoenix Wright, this theory, you believe it? You really intend to say that this is how this joke of an accident actually happened? Of course I do, it's the truth. The lion sneezed due to the pepper, and that's when the bat lost consciousness. Or when Bat lost consciousness. You want to say the bat. Acro nearly lost his brother due to this accident. Or this joke, as you put it. Which is why he tried to get his revenge against Regina. Reggie. Sorry. You foolish idiot. Ha! It almost does seem like a terrible joke, doesn't it? Once again, I'm impressed by your imagination, Mr. Wright. To think that there's someone who treats this accident with the respect it deserves. Are you telling me what I said was true? Acro? You don't mean... You can't mean... Witness! Are you confirming the defense's claim, Mr. Wright? Unfortunately, your imagination is not enough to find me guilty of murder. What do you mean by that? The pepper, the scarf, the lion. I see where you're going, but it was a bit hard to swallow. Not to mention the fact that there's an even bigger problem with your theory. What would that problem be? The same problem it's always been, evidence. If I dropped Max's bust on the top of the ringmaster, where is the evidence that proves that claim? You mean the conclusive evidence? The biggest problem is the murder weapon, or the lack thereof, to be more precise. The murder weapon. The bust that the defense claimed was used, if that were there to be found in Acro's room, and if it was covered with the victim's blood, that would be awfully conclusive in my eyes. Yes, it would be. But where is it? The bust. Nick, you've got to do something. This is the last step. If I get this one right, the case is won. Why, I'm saving it again! Oh my goodness. Request to search his room. Well, I mean, they've obviously already done that, haven't they? But we'll do it. I don't trust it till I do it myself. The defense requests to search the room of the witness, Ken Dingling. What is it now? Looks like you still haven't figured things out, have you? By now, you must know the meaning of von Karma total justice. You mean... Von Karma never leaves anything to chance. We already searched Acro's room yesterday. What did you find? There's no reason to even say it. If we found what you think we found in that room, Acro would not be here as a witness. But to put a point on it, Max's bust was not in the room. The murder weapon is still unaccounted for. You see, Mr. Wright, the bust wasn't in my room. Furthermore, Detective Dick Gumshoe executed this search by complete surprise, and we took Acro directly to the prosecutor's office after that. Brain bat. End of story.